What's up, guys? We are Tottenham TV here. We have some transfer news for you. We got a transfer update. There are some quotes coming out of Denmark today revolving around Christian Eriksen. Obviously, you might have seen these before, happened earlier today. But let's go through them. Let's dissect these quotes. Let's see what we think of them. All right, let's start with it. So he says, I feel that I am in a place in my career where I might want to try something new. I have the wildest and deepest respect for everything that has happened in Tottenham. I won't be negative, but I've also said I would like to try something new. So this is the first time he's publicly said that he's looking for a new challenge. He's looking for something a bit different from the project at Tottenham. He's now been at Spurs for 6 years. Obviously, we all know that. He's been a great servant to the club, but unfortunately, he hasn't won anything. He hasn't got any silverware, despite his best efforts, and he's clearly looking for something different. But the quotes are quite interesting. It's not as clear cut as that. He goes on to say, I hope there'll be clarification during the summer. That's the plan. In football, you do not know when a clarification comes. It can happen anytime. Everyone wants its best if it happens as soon as possible, but in football, things take time. It depends on Daniel Levy and another club to come in, or I have to sit down at the table and negotiate a new contract. You can't set a date. So clearly, he's not completely ruled out of stay at Tottenham. He's saying if something bigger comes along, he's saying if another club comes along, they'll have to sit down and negotiate. But he said, and maybe negotiate a new contract. So he's not completely ruling out a stay at Tottenham. He goes on to say, there are not many points that Tottenham cannot meet. If I have to go, then I'll have to be a step up. Real Madrid is a step up, but it requires Real Madrid to call Tottenham and say they want me. And they have not done so yet, as far as I know. It's hard. It is hard. It depends on possibilities. If nothing pops up that is more exciting, why not stay at Tottenham? So there you go. Those are the quotes coming out of Denmark revolving around Christian Eriksen. These are the first time he's been very open about his future. He's pretty much kept things under wraps. There was a will he, won't he. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and people have been saying that he wants to leave. He clearly, as he said, Real Madrid, he wants that move to Real Madrid. He's pretty much said it there. He said Real Madrid is a step up, and if he wants to move out of Spurs, it has to be a step up. So, but the fact of the matter is that he said as well that Real Madrid have not come calling as of yet, which is interesting because most people would think Real Madrid would be in for him by now. So, very, very interesting quotes there by Christian Eriksen. Interesting. I think one of the most interesting things about that is there are not many points that Tottenham cannot meet. If I go, it will have to be a big step up. So clearly, he's not that against the idea of staying at Tottenham. If clearly they show some ambition, that's what he wants. He wants Tottenham to maybe spend some money, maybe help him out in midfield, because he's this season. Everyone knows that maybe his performances haven't been the best, but a big part of that is the fact that our midfield has been so depleted. He's dropped a lot deeper this season than maybe in previous seasons, and even so, he's still kind of maintained those attacking outputs. He's 8 goals, 12 assists, one of the most assists in the league, one of the most chances created in the league, even playing a deeper role. So clearly, he's a very good player who Spurs probably should want to hang on to, but he has been at Spurs for 6 years, so it's only right that he maybe wants to try a new challenge. He wasn't raised in Tottenham. He's Danish. Going to Real Madrid would be a massive career step for him. And at 27, this is the summer really where he would probably want to move. But very interesting quotes. But more transfer news as well. This was happened yesterday. Involving Giovanni Lo Celso, who we reported last week that Spurs made a bid. It turns out that bid has now been rejected. Spurs bid around 52 million, and it's reported that Real Betis are looking for around that 70 million euro mark, which is around 62 million. And even though his release clause is about 88 million pounds, so they're going to try and get as close to that as possible. But Sky Sports are reporting that Giovanni Lo Celso has his heart set on a move to Tottenham Hotspur. We've seen a lot of Instagram movements between him, Lamela and Foyth recently. They've been interacting, but Sky Sports are reporting that the Argentinian is keen on the move to Premier League and is hoping current club Real Betis will allow him to move. Spurs remain in talks with Betis and are hoping at concluding a deal for the attacking midfielder. So, would he'd be a step up from Christian Eriksen. It looks like we've identified him as the replacement for Christian Eriksen if Eriksen is to move on. Will we sign them both? If Eriksen stays and Lo Celso moves, will we keep them both? It's a big question. Obviously, I want Spurs to I want Spurs to keep hold of Christian Eriksen. There are reports, I think it was Tim Vickery, who is the South American reporter of BBC, said if Tottenham signed Lo Celso, he reckons it would be a step up from Eriksen. He rates Lo Celso very highly. I've always thought Lo Celso was more of a centre-mid kind of box-to-box kind of player because he's not afraid to put a foot in either. He makes a lot of tackles, a lot of interceptions, so despite his impressive attacking numbers, he's not afraid to put a foot in. So it wouldn't be ridiculous to suggest that we could sign Lo Celso and keep Christian Eriksen and play Lo Celso in centre midfield with Eriksen a bit higher up. But it looks like we've identified him as a replacement for Christian Eriksen. There's also obviously talks of maybe Isco, who's looking to leave Real Madrid. James Rodriguez as well confirmed today that Bayern Munich are not taking up the option to sign him permanently, and he's returning to Real Madrid. And we all know that he doesn't get on very well with Zinedine Zidane, so he might be looking to move from Real Madrid as well. Would that be a good replacement for Christian Eriksen? Possibly. He's a very good player, James Rodriguez. I wouldn't be against Spurs signing him, but I've never seen him as a player who's definitely better than Christian Eriksen. Maybe on par. I think he's had quite an inconsistent past 2-3 years now, James Rodriguez, despite that amazing World Cup he had back in 2014. So that's now 5 years ago. So it's not necessarily he'd be a step up on Christian Eriksen. But it's going to be interesting to see a lot of stuff to happen in the next few months. Obviously, with the transfer window opening, let us know what you think. Would you think we should let go of Christian Eriksen? Would you try your best to keep hold of him? How much would you let him go for? How much do you think Daniel Levy should demand off Real Madrid? There are talks of maybe Levy demanding about 120 million. Apparently, Real Madrid are not willing to go above about 70 million euros, considering he has 1 year left on his contract. It's going to be a lot of negotiating. Obviously, Levy, we know his negotiating skills. We know what he likes to do. But let us know in the comments below what you think we should do. Who should we sign as a replacement? And would you be happy with Lo Celso replacing Eriksen? Should we sign Lo Celso in addition to Christian Eriksen? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, come on, you Spurs.